Is life just by chance, or is there a designer? Hey, Daniel here. Welcome back to the channel. We do have tough questions about God, faith, the Bible, and we want to give reasonable answers to these tough questions. Last time we looked at the question of does God exist? And we looked at the cosmological argument as evidence for the existence of God. Now, if you want to know more about that, check out the last video. But today we're looking at what's called the design argument. The design argument. In essence, the design argument states this, that the universe and life itself is so finely tuned, precisely designed, this screams there's a designer. Now, before we get into this, let me give you an example. We see these Legos here. You see them? All right? Beautiful Legos. At home, I have many other Legos. My boys are really into Legos right now. I love Legos. Now, during Christmas, we got this awesome castle Lego set my oldest did, and he took a while building it. Very detailed, very precisely set. And if you decided to just do what you want, not follow the instruction book, and just kind of do whatever you wanted, you would not build this. It was precisely and meticulously designed. Now, that pales in comparison to what I want to talk about right now. What I want to say right now is how detailed the universe is, which is beyond what I think we could truly understand. So detailed, so designed, that it screams they're the designer. Now, let me give you a couple examples that points towards this detailed or this fine-tuning of the universe. The first is called the building blocks. Now, in order for the universe and life to exist, there needs to be certain building blocks like molecules, atoms, electrons, these things. And these things had to be set to precise value, and if they're slightly different, life would not exist. Hugh Ross goes in a lot more detail about this. This is one of his books, Hugh Ross. It's called Creators and Cosmos. He lists over 100 different constants or building blocks that need to be so finely tuned or finely set that if they were slightly different in any way, by very slightly different, life would not exist. This screams a designer. Physicist Paul Davies states this: it seems as though someone has fine-tuned nature's numbers. The impression of design is overwhelming. Astronomer Fred Hoyle stated that a super intellect has monkeyed with the physics as well as chemistry and biology. So in essence, what it's stating is that we look at just the building blocks, the molecules, the atoms, all these things are necessary for life, that they are so precisely set to a certain value, of hundreds of them, that if they were not set to that value, life would not exist. Man, that screams a designer. Now, that's just the building blocks. Second one I point out is called our galaxy, where we live, our galaxy. Now, the shape, the size, the location of our galaxy are so precisely made that if it was any bit different, we would not be here watching this video. If it's any bit different. In fact, Hugh Ross goes into more details about this, but he notes something. He says our galaxy was part of like what's called a group of galaxies called the local group, is the only one in which it can have a planet that sustains life, meaning only life can exist in a galaxy like ours. That's amazing. That's designed. Now you zoom into our galaxy where we live, our planet. So we see the building blocks of life itself in the universe are so precisely designed. Our galaxy where we live is so precisely designed. And we zoom in, our planet is so precisely designed. All right. Now, we're not going to get into all the makeup of the planet today. I encourage you, if that interests you, there's a book right here, all right, called The Privileged Planet. It goes in a lot more details. I'm just going to give you a couple things about our planet. One is called the habitable zone. The habitable zone is the distance from a planet to its sun, and our planet, Earth, is in what's called the habitable zone, meaning the only place that life can exist in relation to its star or the sun. Meaning if our Earth was slightly closer, we would burn, we would be dead. If it was slightly farther, we would freeze. But we are in the exact location, the habitable zone, the Goldilocks zone, the perfect spot, in the only spot in which life can exist. Not only our relation to the sun, but also the Earth's relationship to other planets and the moon are so precisely set that we are actually protected by asteroids, by bigger planets like Jupiter and Saturn. They're precisely set to protect us from getting hit by asteroids. Is that coincidence? No, it screams that there is a designer. So we see building blocks, we see our galaxy, we see our planet. All of this to say the universe and life itself screams there's a designer. The foundational building blocks of our universe are precisely fine-tuned. Our galaxy, the size, the shape, the position, the chemical makeup of our galaxy is so precisely fine-tuned. Our Earth's location, the habitable zone, its relation to the moon, its relationship to other planets are so precisely fine-tuned. This all screams a designer. Now we can see that wow, it's amazing. You can observe, but then again, you got to ask, why is it this way? Is it just this way? Now, there's three things people might say. One is like, it's this way because it needed to be this way. Well, first off, that's nonsense. So our universe didn't need to be this way. You could look at many other galaxies and places, observe those that are not this way, in which life does not exist. So it didn't need to be this way. The second, some people will say, oh, well, it just happened to be this way. That the odds of that are beyond improbable. And Hugh gets more details on that. I encourage you to check it out. The numbers are ridiculously big of how improbable for life itself, especially our planet and this universe and our galaxy to exist in the way it does by chance. It's so improbable. So what does that leave us with? It points towards all of this being designed. All of this being precisely designed by a designer. That reminds me of Psalm 19. The heavens declare the glory of God. This all points that the universe, life, all of this is precisely designed. I hope that encourages you to know that where we live, that we have a creator, designer that purposely and intentionally created life itself, which means, we'll get into other times, he purposely and intentionally created you. All right, I hope that helps. I'll catch you guys next time.